And now for another instalment of our road trip around the Malaysian Peninsula. In the 4th century BC, the Indian Emperor Ashoka sent a missionary to spread Buddhism to a land of gold called Suvarnadvipha. So on day 8 of our road trip around Malaysia, that's where we're going. Except we call it Kedah nowadays.
Welcome to Bujang Valley. You are now venturing into the civilization of the 2nd to the 14th century AD. This is day 8 on our travels, and today we're at Bujang Valley archaeological site. So these Hindu temples here and the Buddhist stupas beyond over the hill there, these are all evidence of civilizations here from the 7th to the 12th century AD.
Greco-Roman tradesmen floating around the Indian Ocean, they reported that huge vessels laden down with enormous amounts of goods were coming in from this area. So it was a pretty prosperous sort of place. It's not quite Angkor Wat, not quite Borobudur, but it was probably around about that time with a similar cultural feel to it. But right now, it's a lot of ruins. You need a bit of imagination to connect these artifacts with a living city. But 2,000 years ago, you'd find boats from Arabia, India and China sailed by tough characters armed with axes and knives, landing and picking up goods delivered from and taken to the inland areas on horseback and on elephants. There'd be holy men and temples performing rituals to ensure good winds and good seas and good luck. This inscription in Sanskrit contains thanksgiving for a safe voyage by a sea captain named Buddhagupta from Raktamritika, dated the 5th century CE. Relationships would be everything. Oaths of allegiance would have to be sworn. Trust was a commodity and only the gods could ensure it. It should be noted that these temples have been dug up from where they were found and reconstructed here for your own edification. This is the main temple in Bujang Valley, and it dates to about the 12th century AD. And here's one that's a part of a Buddhist stupa. Whenever we ask any of the locals about the history of Malaysia, they very often say, oh, it's all been rewritten. Somehow the Indians believe that the Indians have been written out, or the Chinese believe it's been their side's been written out. But as far as we can see, it's all there to be found. Now, I'm not sure what this statue represents. Could be the head of a Chris, but I think it's a man in a mask. So obviously, 2,500 years ago, when they had the virus passing through, they exercised social distancing rules even then. Of course, when you look at the ruins in Bujang, and it starts talking about there being Hindu temples and Buddhist stupas and the like, what you don't really get an impression of is the sort of colours that they would have been using. And Hinduism being Hindu, you could see that the place must have been a really spectacular display of something or other when it was in its heyday. So please subscribe to this channel so that you can see what happens next at facebook.com/Lawrence and Helen.